Ever get one of those like little phrases stuck in your head? That's totally what happened to us when we saw this request.
Yeah.
It said craft a tool investigating neuroscience and tips. And we were like, whoa, we got to unpack
I
this.
know, right? It's like,
So
isn't
many
that,
layers.
yeah, a little mysterious. So thankfully, we've got an expert in well brains and learning
Oh, that's me.
to help us out today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Happy to be here.
So let's really dissect this request. Craft a tool investigating neuroscience and tips.
All right, let's go.
What jumps out at you when you hear those words? Tool, investigating neuroscience, and of course tips.
I think the coolest thing is how much they packed into like, what, 4 words?
Right.
Each one of those is like a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then neuroscience itself, when we're talking the study of the brain, the nervous system, how we learn, how we form memories.
It's pretty much everything we do, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's how we function as humans.
Yeah, definitely. Remember that time you learned to ride a bike?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's your brain rewiring itself.
Neuroplasticity.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
But okay, so how do we investigate something as complex as the brain? What tool are we even talking about here?
Well, you're already kind of doing it all the time.
Oh, really?
Every time you think about how you're feeling or why you do something, you're basically doing a self-inquiry into your brain.
That's true.
Right. And then there's more structured ways to investigate,
Okay.
like cognitive tests, those things you do online sometimes,
Yeah.
or brain imaging.
Ooh, brain imaging. Now we're getting fancy.
Right.
What does that even look like?
Well, we've got all kinds of brain scanners these days.
Wow.
Each one's kind of good for different things.
Okay.
Like fMRI, that one measures your brain activity by watching your blood flow.
So it's like literally watching your brain work.
Pretty much you can see which parts light up when you're doing different stuff.
That's so.
And then there's EEGs. They use these little electrodes to measure the electrical activity going on in your brain.
Okay.
And that shows you these brainwave patterns that tell you about sleep attention, even some cognitive disorders.
So we can basically peek inside.
Yeah, kind of.
That's wild.
It is pretty amazing.
But okay, knowing all this about how our brains work,
Yeah.
like what can we actually do with this knowledge? Let's talk tips.
This is my favorite part
Okay.
because understanding neuroscience can give you so many tips for learning, for memory, for just overall brain health.
Give us the goods.
All right, so think about spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition.
Yeah, it's this technique that uses how your brain forgets things.
Like how we naturally forget stuff.
Exactly. You space out your study sessions, and it forces your brain to work harder to remember.
Interesting.
And that actually makes the connections in your brain stronger.
So I should stop cramming the night before a test.
Probably.
I knew there was a reason I could never remember anything.
It's all about working with how your brain naturally functions.
Okay, I'm listening.
Another good one is chunking.
Chunking. Like those ice sculptures.
No, like breaking information into smaller pieces.
Oh, okay, got it.
So our short-term memory, it can only hold so much. But if you group things into meaningful chunks,
Uh-huh.
you can learn and remember way more.
Like phone numbers?
Exactly. They're chunked, so they're easier to remember.
That makes sense.
Right. It's all about how our brains like to process information.
So these are all tips for like learning and memory stuff?
Yeah.
What about just keeping our brains healthy in general?
Well, that's huge. Your lifestyle makes a huge difference.
Okay, like what?
Things like exercise, a good diet, getting enough sleep.
The usual suspects.
Right. But they're important for a reason.
Yeah, true.
Like exercise increases blood flow to your brain.
So it's like giving your brain a workout too.
Yep. And that helps new brain cells grow.
Whoa, for real.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It can even help you think better.
So we basically went from this like mysterious phrase
I know, right?
to like a whole overview of neuroscience.
We did a lot.
We talked about the tools we can use to investigate it and even got some practical tips.
It's all connected.
It is pretty amazing.
It is.
But this is just the beginning. Right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what are you going to investigate further? Will you dive into the latest research on neuroplasticity?
Ooh, good one.
Maybe experiment with some new learning techniques?
You could even look into different types of brain imaging.
Or all of the above?
There's a whole world of knowledge out there.
This deep dive is just the first step.
It's a great place to start.
So get out there and explore
Have fun.
and keep those brains buzzing.
Yeah.